1, 2, 3, 4.
Filled with awe and fright, see Jurassic Right. Bathed in amber light, see Jurassic Right. See Jurassic Right, right, right. See Jurassic Right, right, right. See Jurassic Right, right, right. See Jurassic Right. See Jurassic Right. See Jurassic Park.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love to laugh. And this is Stephen. I don't know why that was my... You know what? Actually, here's how I'm going to intro the show, because I'm wearing a sleeveless tank right now, and I feel like I could only wear that for my guest. It says, "No mercy for fascists." I'm showing
Yes!
And I'm wearing shorts, of course. But, I mean... They're a hilarious comedian. They're one of the hosts of Lady to Lady. They're literally the coolest, funniest person in the world. They have a new album called Milk Job. It's Brandie Posey.
Oh, thanks, Stephen. I've been jealous of your sleevelessness. I was like, why do I wear sleeves today? God.
I just feel like you've cultivated a universe around you in which, like, I don't know, a sleeveless shirt is just like, let's all partake, you know?
Oh, thank you. Hey, you know what? Thank you. That feels really good to know that's the energy I'm putting out.
I just feel like for me, it's like one of those things, because it's like, I personally don't feel like I have any masculine energy. So I'm always afraid to do things that like would maybe mistake people who don't know me. But I don't know. I feel like you look at me and I'm wearing a sleeveless tank, and
yeah,
I feel like a cutie pie right now, to be honest. So
I think you, as always, are a cutie pie. I love it. You remind me of like Philadelphia in the summertime riding bicycles at dusk. Like that's what a sleeveless shirt makes me feel like. Very much. I just feel like I'm young again looking at you.
I should show you my because your comedy album, your newest album, is called Milk Job. This is for audio. It's a disco looking peep.
Oh,
bunny.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
Yeah, you were an Easter bunny, and this is where I have to confess that I've had a weird fear of mascots my whole life. So
You're not wrong.
Slight tinge of anxiety going into the album because, and you talk about it on the album, but when I was 7, like the Chuck E. Cheese show for people who don't remember, or I guess maybe there's people now taking their kids to Chuck E. Cheese as like a bit. But to me, it was like Samara from The Ring when the Chuck E. Cheese person like walked off the stage.
Yes.
And so my whole life have had a weird fear of people wearing mascot uniforms. Even working at Disneyland didn't necessarily fix it. Mm-hmm. And I have a very clear memory of going to some Easter brunch with my family and an Easter bunny walking by, and I like walked on the other side of the street because I was like starting to panic.
No, you're not wrong. Because no one's ever like stoked to be in an Easter bunny costume. It's never like a high point. And if it is a high point in your life, you shouldn't have that job. It's a job that is a passage, I think.
I mean, it seems like it was great fodder for. Yeah,
I'm happy I got the bit out of it. And I was an Easter bunny in 2018, and it's very funny because when the album came out a few weeks ago, it was #1 on iTunes, and I got a copy of the cover printed, and then I took it to find another Easter bunny to get a picture of that Easter bunny holding it with like a #1 finger up in the air. And it was very funny because that Easter bunny, when I was explaining it to them, was like miming like, "No way," like moving its head and stuff. And I was like, I mean, I'm not a child, so you could talk to me, but it's I also understand the rules. I get it.
This is like a kayfabe thing or something. I didn't realize that was like a thing with Easter bunnies.
It is it's part of the training when they tell you, they're just like, Easter bunnies don't speak. You do not talk to the children. And actually, it's interesting because like I've been thinking a lot about the Easter bunny in general as like a concept. And I was on like the Daily Zeitgeist recently, and we were talking about how like the big part that we think the Easter bunny feels so weird is that like when you think of the Easter bunny, you think of them usually as like a male bunny, but it's like the Easter's actually like is like the spring equinox is a time of rebirth. It's an adult. It's like a bunny with eggs around it. The Easter bunny is actually female, and no one thinks about it. And if you make that change in your head, it's much less like it just makes more sense. You're like, oh yeah, Of course. Come on, girl. Like, it takes it away from like whatever weird half-assed Christian stuff it's trying to pull in there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's you're just like, oh, this is just like about like the mother and spring. And like that's what the Easter Bunny is actually supposed to be about.
I love that. That is so amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to look up, unless you happen to know off the top of your head when Easter is this year, but
I do, because it is when my family is about to come visit, and it's
nice.
It is April 5th.
April 5th
is Easter. Yeah.
I've always had a soft spot for Easter, even though I was terrified of the Easter Bunny because my birthday is around Easter. And one year, speaking of mascots, and I had to ask my mom if this was real because we went out to Palm Springs and then a person in an Easter Bunny costume jumped out of an airplane, parachuted, and then dropped candy all over the lawn for everyone to like run and grab stuff.
Wow. That's cool. Now I did not get paid to do that. I would have liked that is an Easter Bunny moment.
You know, it's so funny. Maybe because we've talked on the podcast before some fun religious trauma, some touristy stuff, dinosaurs and science. But I've never thought to ask this to a stand-up. Do people like are texting you about stuff from your special since it's come out? Or like,
I've had some people, be like, oh my gosh, tell me more about that. And I'm like, well, yeah, here's more details. Yeah. I mean, I think it depends. It's like, I mean, I'm a pretty biographical comic with my jokes. So I've had some friends that have been like, oh, I remember when that happened. It's cool to see like what the condensed version of like everything coming together. Like I have a 12-foot skeleton. And like when I first got that, I was like very obsessed with, I still love him. But like I was very obsessed like with like the Facebook group and everything. So people have like seen me like write those bits and they're, it's not me doing bits at them, but they're like, oh, remember when you were talking about this and you just were rambling. And now it's like a good, concise, like 3-minute chunk with a bunch of punchlines, basically.
I know you were one of the OGs.
I was.
And what has it been now? What, like 4 years, 5 years?
My skeleton it'll be 5 years later this year when I have my skelly. Yeah. That's really wild.
What this is such a, but I feel like, what are some of your favorite moments with your skeleton? I feel like for anyone who's listening who obviously, is a big MFM fan as well, that was such a moment,
Oh yeah. We love the 12-foot skeleton moment. So several come to mind immediately. I've had 2 separate toddlers in my neighborhood whose parents take them for walks, fall in love with the skeleton and need to stop by the skeleton and say hi to it every day on the walks. So that's really, really cute. Right now there's one, his name is Hunter. And his parents like walk by every day and he has to come and his mom high fives the skeleton. And it's like, that's what they have to do it or he cries every day. It's really cute.
Wow.
And there was like another one that I think has outgrown it because I haven't seen him in a while, but whatever. And then they have like a building that's like next to my house that had this like hype beast clothing company in it for a while.
Okay.
And they got a skeleton like 6 months after mine. And they faced each other over this hedge, which is hilarious. But then they like didn't take care of it or like they didn't weight him down properly. And he fell down at one point and they like weren't fixing him. And then like I went over there with like the box has information that you can buy new skeleton parts in. And I went over with my instructions and I was like, hi, I just need you to know, can you take down this number? Because you guys need to fix your skeleton. It's like really sad to see it every day like this. They were like, okay.
You care about your community. That's what people know about you as well.
Yeah.
And you just wanted to be a good neighbor.
Exactly. Get that skelly up on his feet. You can't have that and squander it. People see this and it's very upsetting. My skelly had a friend. They saw eye to eye every day, but yeah, those are great.
I know it is just one of those things where I feel like, obviously, I think part of the LA skyline should just have the Universal Minion on it.
Yes.
But I feel like trying to explain, because I moved to Burbank recently and I was unprepared for Halloween here.
Oh,
and how there is just a 12-foot skeleton. Across from the Walt Disney Elementary School is a 15-foot scythe, death incarnate with a giant scythe. Like, it is nuts. I feel like everyone's just caught up to what you were doing.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I like to think so. I mean, I can't claim Burbank's been going hard for a long time because there's a lot of art directors live there.
Yeah.
A lot of like that's the right tax bracket. So like they go so hard every year. I get because there's a Halloween map, and I'll go and like take a couple nights and walk around to go look at all the houses and stuff. I love it so much. But yeah, I mean, like I had one of the first 12-foot skeletons in Los Angeles. Let's be real. I absolutely like really pushed it. And then man, sometimes there's some of those Burbank houses that have a few of them, and like I know like, oh, you got the skeleton that was from Lowe's that was like trying to be this one. Like I know all the different ones. Joanne's had one that almost tempted me. They had an 8-foot. It looked like shit though, but it talked and it had these really bad jokes that it was telling that just like made no sense. And you were like, what?
I had a place just a few places down from mine that was the scarecrow. That's like 15 foot.
Mm-hmm,
that is just like the head slightly moves. So it's a little unnerving.
Yes.
And
terrifying.
then my other favorite one, which really does feel like we live in an apocalypse, is the one where it's like crawling over the house where the skull itself is like 5 feet tall. That is like true end of days.
Yeah, no, so those are called groundbreakers. I know they make you feel weird when you see them because you're like, oh God, how big is it underground? I know it's fake, but also, is it? I don't know what's real anymore. Reality's, yeah, those guys are wild. And that was like an original, God, who did that one? I think that was like a Lowe's original, and then Costco copied it exactly, and that pissed people. Like that was like the skeleton wars are like a whole thing of like who, and it all starts with the 12-foot skeleton. Everybody saw the way it popped off, and we're like, oh shit, we've been discounting Halloween this entire time.
Yeah, no, I tell my dad this stuff all the time, and he's like, or recently he texted me, he's like, huh, people seem to be really into Halloween, and I'm like, literally everyone we know, you know what I mean? Like Halloween starts August 1st in LA.
100%. Well, and also it's like, I think Halloween for millennials especially really have been the ones I think to push it to the next level, because like we've always done Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the holidays are fine, but there's a lot, it's very family oriented. Halloween is just like, can this just be me and my friends?
Yeah.
Can I please have a holiday that I don't need to like, there doesn't need to be a weird uncle around of some kind. I don't need to be there's no peacekeeping on Halloween. You're just like, it's about me being something different and having a fun night. And it's not that deep.
Yeah. No, totally. Do you dress your skeleton up in different stuff? Or Okay.
Yeah. Skelly has a bunch of different outfits throughout the course of the year, honestly. I mean, I've been slacking a little bit this year. But like for Halloween, Skelly also has one of those black skeleton onesies that it will wear. Which I've gotten a lot of... Thank you. I've gotten a lot of out loud laughs from people outside of my house because I'll have like my screen door open or something, and I'll hear people see it and laugh, and I'm like, yes. That's
bringing joy to the neighborhood.
Trying to.
If you had to get another giant thing, what would it be?
Man. I really like the Wolfman.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the Wolfman is really fun. Because usually, I mean, I dress like the Wolfman half the time. The Wolfman wears a cutoff.
Yes. He wears this tank.
Yeah. Wolfman loves that tank top. Wolfman loves a flannel on top of a sleeveless. Like that is my Wolfman fashion icon, frankly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know. I have to, now that I'm new to Burbank, I do feel like I have to, because there's the clown house and there was a Wicked house last year.
Amazing.
Like, I feel like I have to, and there's a place that truly looked like the Haunted Mansion. Like, I bet you somebody worked for Disney because they had like the shadow kind of puppets in the window dancing like a Victorian ghost couple. Like,
that's so cool.
So I feel like this year, like, I gotta do a dinosaur type situation.
You absolutely should. Oh, I'm very excited for you. And if you want any like help brainstorming or putting things up, I am making myself very available.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, I feel like your album covers so many topics that are just like things that I know about you, of like weird touristy stuff, all your true crime, all that stuff like that. I mean, I feel like last time we talked a little bit about just growing up, and it's been a theme like since we talked. I've met so many people who've dealt with this religious trauma and dinosaurs being a situation because it's, and I forget how we talked about it, and if you want to refresh the story, but like the idea that parents are like, cool, we have to teach you about God. Oh shit, kids love dinosaurs. What do we do? Because they're sort of not compatible. But what was it for you again? Just remind me.
I think I'm trying. God,
because you went to some touristy thing with dinosaurs, and it was like Noah's Ark thing.
Oh yeah. It was basically like they tried to be like fossils aren't real. They were put here by the devil, and I was like, that's crazy, and I choose not to believe that. And it was like kind of the beginning of this like just being like, oh, I'm going to question everything you say now because that didn't make sense. Like, I mean, yeah, that's kind of where it started from. Also, I remember being like, they didn't mention the dinosaurs in Genesis. So where do they come in?
Yeah.
Do they come after the apple? Like, what are we talking? And the Bible doesn't mention dinosaurs once. Okay.
You feel like you would have if it was, they seem pretty cool.
Yeah, if they were like coexisting. And I feel like also like if Jesus had gotten a raptor like as a disciple, I mean, I think we'd be good. You replace Judas with a raptor. Now we're talking.
Yeah, Easter wouldn't exist because Jesus would never have died.
Yeah. Which is now I'm remembering. Do you remember Raptor Jesus, the meme that was like really big and like what is that, early aughts sometime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was because of like Velocirapture. That was like a thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a great, and it's so funny because I know you love the Fast and Furious franchise. I'm not sure what you think of the later Jurassic World movies, but the last Chris Pratt Jurassic World had so much stuff going on, and I think everyone was kind of, as much as I enjoy some of it, and even the director was kind of like, we were doing kind of like, what if Michael Crichton made a Fast and the Furious movie, which kind of rules when I think about it that way. But the movie actually has a raptor Jesus in it, and people were just not even, because Blue, who was like Owen's raptor that he trains, has a immaculate birth of a baby raptor, and like nobody talks about it. Like literally Jurassic Park got to raptor Jesus, and it just everyone was just like, I don't have time for this.
Okay. I actually have not seen most of the new ones, so I need to actually see those. Yeah, I think I tapped out after the second one, because the second one is when they come out into the real world, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, love that idea. I'm just going to let my imagination take it from here because I don't want them to fuck this up.
Yeah.
I've been a little iffy with some of the parts of the new ones anyway. So I was like, all right, I'm in a good place with it right now. So I think I'm good.
Well, what's your taste in like science fiction and movies in general?
I mean, I'm a Star Trek girly. Yeah. I mean, I wrote my college essay about Captain Picard. I think Patrick Stewart's the only person that if I met him, I would weep. I would have a really hard time. I would get very emotional with him. And that I think for sure. But I love that. I like Star Wars, but it didn't grab me in the same way. Firefly, I loved a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of like always down, but I'm not like, I have a hard time reading it. So I have a thing called Aphantasia, which I don't know if we talked about or not.
No, you have. I think about it a lot. I've actually mentioned it to one or two people actually recently, because I keep thinking about it of like, explain it. Yeah.
So aphantasia basically means that like your mind's eye is blind. So like none of my memory is visual whatsoever. And so it's also like basically every one of my memories is kind of like I'm reading the police report basically of like the thing that happened, but very quickly. Like that's kind of how it works a little bit. I can see something and be like, oh shit, like that'll trigger like a thought. Like, oh, I remember this, like that's kind of like that will help with that. But I don't have face blindness, but I usually need like a context clue to place like where I know people unless I've seen them a lot or we've had like a real interaction that like really has stuck with me. But yeah, it basically means that my thought process is my memory is just entirely conceptual. It's not like it's not visual whatsoever. So it's like if you say like picture an apple, like it's just black in my mind basically. And there's varying degrees of like some people can like picture an apple perfectly. They can turn it around in their mind. They can like even taste it and smell it and they can take a bite out of it like in their minds. But some people are hyper aphasic basically. And then there's a whole spectrum in between. But I've complete out.
Some people listening are like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, but yeah, it was something I never... Does that affect in terms of like the type of media you consume? Are you more of a reader or does it really...
It definitely does. So I bring it up because with sci-fi, I don't like reading sci-fi.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like I whenever I'm reading stuff, I kind of gloss over description, or if it's like, if I don't have like I read a lot of like memoir and like nonfiction type stuff is like usually what I'm reading because I can kind of place it in reality or I like know what something looks like. But I've never read a fiction book and been like, oh, this is what that person looks like in my mind. I just can't do that. Mm-hmm. So like, remember when the, before we knew how much she sucked, but like whenever the first Harry Potter movies came out or whatever, and everybody had a lot of opinions about casting, I was just like, oh, okay, I guess that's what they look like. Like
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's always the first, the first thing that I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Sure. That's what I like the building, like what the visual of something looks like in my mind is I can't do it. So it isn't like a thing that I value when I'm reading stuff. So if I read sci-fi or fantasy where you're building an entire world, I'm just like, I can't. I don't even know what you're talking about. I can't keep these people straight. What? No.
That's funny. I've been recently because I had Jordan Morris on and I had Heather Antos, who's in IDW Publishing and was the Gwenpool creator. But having comic book people on and being like, the idea of having to read and look at the visuals at the same time was like a lot for me growing up, where I would just read the words and then I'd be like, oh, I'm done. And then you're like, oh, no, I just read a comic book in 5 seconds because I didn't look at any of the pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that's a lot of story happening on it, too. I mean, Here's my thing with comic books. I am like a completionist as a collector. So I just always was like, nope, can't even. If somebody let me borrow something, I would borrow something and read it. Or like if like a collection is like a graphic novel or a compendium or something, that's totally fine. But like anything that was like, oh, new issues coming out forever every single week, I was like, nope. I know the way my brain works, and what'll happen is I will need to buy every single one of those. And I don't want to have to do that. And it's why I stay away from Funko Pops for the same reason. I feel like once you like pull that I think it's like, then it becomes, for me, it would become like okay, well, now I need the whole collection of that. Okay, I need to get all of it. And it's like, is that my addictive behavior coming through? Hey, whatever.
It's just one of those, the Lord of the Rings of it all, the that fantasy element of it is very Magic the Gathering did a Lord of the Rings fantasy set, Magic the Gathering did a Lord of the Rings set. But what's cool about it, as far as like picturing a fantasy world, is that it's different from Peter Jackson's. It's like queer and more diverse and all this cool stuff. So it's like, I'm like, ooh, I want to collect it. Oh, there's like a hollow version of every card. There's a alternate art of every card, but it's just like, they have, there's, I love you, Magic, but there are now the collector, there's packs that are like $35 because they're like, it's just sort of, it's unmanageable. What do you collect?
So I collect a lot of stuff that is like, I mostly only find at thrift stores. And it's like, I love like 70s owls. I have a bunch of Abe Lincoln busts. So it's not like of a certain thing. It's just like, oh, it's like this genre of thing I really like a lot. That way there's no like end, but there's also no beginning, man. It can go forever.
No, I like that. It's just, to me, it's more fun to collect the things that you like versus collecting to finish, like you're saying, to be a completionist.
Yeah, exactly. Like I love like thrift store secondhand art. Like that's usually where I'm at. I'm a huge like, vintage like shopper. That's my jam. It's like what I do whenever I'm on tour in the middle of the country. I'm always just like, all right, what's the weird place? Let's go.
Weird place and weird things you can thrift. Is there anything cool you've been to lately or a cool thing you've gotten on a trip?
I have I got a typewriter in Wyoming.
Whoa.
This like cherry red typewriter that works perfectly. Because I'm like, maybe just trying to get away from screens wherever you can, right?
Yeah.
So I got that. I got God, I'm trying to think of like what I have in my place. So here's an Aphantasia moment. So I'm podcasting right now from a dog sitting gig. I can't picture my house to be like what are the things I'm most excited about that are in it. This is what I'm always surprised by. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a thing that somebody could do, is just be like, let me like look through and find my favorite. I have a captain's wheel with a barometer inside of it.
See, that's so fun. I feel like that's better than a Funko Pop. I say, it's like, there was a period after a breakup where I started compulsively buying some Funko Pops because I was like, it's $5. I can just get a thing that can make me feel good, but it's like,
of course. Yeah.
And it's like, just a thing where it's like a character that I like. Because like, Funko is one of those things where they're like, oh, well, there's literally like they have a Selena Funko Pop. And I'm like, well, I love Selena, cool. So I'll get that, Yeah,
that's cool. And also to the listener, no shade if you are a Funko Pop person. I'm talking about my own need to then be like, well, I would need to have a wall of them because then that's like what would happen. So instead I'm like, no, I love finding just one thing on a shelf that I don't know if another one of these even exists. Like that's my favorite thrift store stuff. Yeah.
No, that's so cool. I mean, I think that's just because there's like so much of collecting now is gambling,
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of feels like anything to get away from that, where it's like, no, I want these unopened box of Jurassic Park Pogs because I like them and I would never sell them, and they're probably not worth anything anyway, but for some reason they're being sold for $1,500 on eBay when I bought them for $45 in 2014.
Yeah, like, exactly. I got nothing that's worth anything, which is fine.
You mentioned you went to Catalina, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's such an underrated. I don't know.
Yeah.
I weirdly go for Thanksgiving every once in a while.
I like that.
You talked about it in your special. Was that? Well, was that the first time you went, or like, did you go there for a show, or was it just for fun?
No, that was just like the first time I went. I think it might have been around my birthday, actually. And and they don't do it anymore, but they used to, the ferry over to Catalina. For those that don't know, Catalina is a little island, off of like San Pedro, Long Beach here in LA that like is, what's like an hour, 45 minute, like a little ferry ride.
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes.
It's adorable. It's owned by, most of the stuff on the island is owned by the Wrigley family.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And like there's barely any cars. It's mostly golf carts to kind of get around the place. And it's just like, it's very quaint. It's very cute. It's just a nice little break from LA just to be on an island. There's good hiking. There's good camping over there. It's just and there's like a cute little beach. It's just a fun little break from the mainland.
It reminds me of like LA in the 50s or something.
Yes.
I would imagine,
Yeah, it feels that way. Yeah, it feels like everything's more slowed down. I think as it is, because there aren't any cars around. It's just people on golf carts just always put you at ease, I think, where you're like, oh, okay. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I know. My grandma Morris used to go over there back in the day.
Oh, that's cool.
And I feel like, I'm just like, you just imagine in the 50s or 60s, are you getting drunk on that boat over? Is that boat taking like 2 hours? Are you going back the next day, or are you going back that night? Because my dad grew up in Long Beach, so I'm like, his mom is like, I'm going out, like, like for the night.
I know that you can rent jet skis to go to Catalina, which I will not do because that I do have a fear of open ocean. I like being on a big boat that I can trust. Ooh, boy. And even then, I don't like a cruise ship. I like being able to see land and know that I could swim that. I'm a good swimmer. But like open ocean, no. I'm out.
Who did do that? Jet ski, Nicole Tom.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She told a story on
good for her.
on or Worst Ever, but the podcast I did Keenan and Lake with Christine and Stacey. But yeah, she told that story one time of some charity event where she had to jet ski from LA to Catalina.
Good for her. I think halfway through I'd be like, I've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah. You're like, I just want to go home.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I can't. I'm too far in one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just, oof.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like cruises would be maybe part of your brand a little bit. The carefree lifestyle.
Well,
Here's
the thing. I've been on 2 cruises. I found I if they were more chill, I would like them. The 2 cruises, they're both Carnival cruises. I'll call them out. And maybe there are others that are more fun than this, but they both had like a cruise director that had like a camera crew that roved the ship just looking for trying to get people to like jump in a Congo line with them at any time. So there's just constantly a person being like, hi, participate. And I was like, no, I just want to like sit here in quiet. I need like quiet to recharge a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like at a cruise ship, there was always something trying to grab my attention. Also, people are like getting drunk because you got to buy the drink package for it to like even make sense financially.
Yeah.
So it was just like people like puking in the pool. And like the last one I went on, I have an uncle that when he got married, he's gay. He got married to his partner of like 20 years. They got married. Half of my family sucks real bad and didn't want to be a part of that wedding. So it was like a thank you to like the nieces and nephews that were cool. They took us all on like a 7-day cruise, which was like very cool, but that's a long time on a boat. And we were like, cool. Can we do anything else? But okay, I guess we'll say yes to this. It's very nice. And that boat was just like the thing that keeps it steady. On the 2nd day broke. So we had like 2 days at sea to get to the islands. The boat was just rolling in this crazy way. And I was like, I just kept ending up at Guy Fieri's Burger Bar, just like staring out at the ocean and then just eating fries that I got condiments out of a fake engine. And I was like, I don't on land. This is very charming. When this is all I have.
Guy Fieri, why have you forsaken me?
Yeah, exactly. And then it's hard too, because then you get off these boats and then there's just like so many of these like islands, we've like turned them into tourist traps, and there's like no way for like the people that live there to like have upward mobility of any kind. So then you like get off on these islands, and then there's a bunch of like women that are like, hey, can we braid your hair? And I was like, white lady, I can't do that. And they're like, this is how I'm allowed to make money. So we're just doing that back and forth with each other. And then I just bought a bunch of like belly shirts and was like, I'm not gonna wear these. So they're just in a bag in the back of my closet, just like, all right, I have all these like Bahamas.
I love a souvenir that you're like, I'm never this shirt is too small for me. I'm why did I spend $25?
Yes, exactly. I'm just like, I don't know. I'll just look at you. So I'll just keep looking at you every time I clean out my closet. And eventually you'll be given to somebody else.
My sister for Christmas got me a vintage Jimmy Buffett shirt, but it's like kind of all ripped, but like not in the like, I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with it. Yeah. Do I like turn it into like a flag or a blanket or something? Or
I mean, that could be fun. Maybe a pillow. Like a little Jimmy Buffett pillow?
Yeah.
Could be nice. Yeah.
Shaped like him.
Yeah, exactly. Just a good little man pillow would be great.
Funny. Give me a hug.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a Jimmy Buffett concert? Did you ever make it out to one?
No, sadly, no. I would have loved them, I think, though.
That's how I feel. I never made it.
Yeah. I have few regrets. That's like live music regrets are like him and Prince and Gwen Stefani before we knew.
Yes.
What?
Speaking of religious trauma.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I like that my powers, if we have time travel, it's like see Jimmy Buffett and Selena in concert. Like,
yeah. Yes, 100%. I mean, I would go, I would want to see Prince. I would want to see Freddie Mercury in concert really, really badly. And also I would go see No Doubt, and then I'd pull Gwen aside and I'd be like, I'm gonna take you under my wing whether you like it or not, and we're gonna fix this timeline.
And that's gonna fix everything, actually.
Yeah, honestly, if Gwen Stefani actually like stood on anything that wasn't trash, we'd probably be in a much better place.
I think so.
Yeah, exactly. You have an army of like millennial women that were blonde for a decade because of you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Come on.
And I don't know why, but because we were talking about jet skiing out to Catalina, but then isn't the Hella Good video? Aren't they on Sea-Doos or something in that video?
Oh God, I think they are.
Yeah, it's all, it was a very like Waterworld stunt show kind of situation.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all connected. I would go on that cruise, the Waterworld cruise.
That I would. That would be fun as hell. Although you got to bring your own water, because I don't know that I would trust what's happening on that boat.
True. I love that you said in your special about that you follow science people on Instagram, because it is just like, it is sometimes, I don't know how you feel about this. You know, there's a lot of AI slop out there.
Yes.
But you can say not interested in. It's kind of like what I did with Joe Rogan, where it's like anytime a whiff of Joe Rogan was in my feed, I said, not interested. Don't show me this. And so I've like blissfully made myself. So anytime I see AI stuff, I like, so for you, were you just like, I want to curate, if I'm going to be online because, you know, we're promoting our stuff and we're doing our thing and part of our job is to be there. Was that something, have you always been interested in science? Like, again, obviously since seeing dinosaurs and being like, huh, what's going on with the world?
Dinosaurs condemned me to hell as a young child. Yeah, no, I mean, I always have. It's so cool, right? Like, and it's like, it is what science sometimes is like magic explained a little bit too, I think, where you're like, oh, like that's what that is. Like literally I was reading about dandelions last night because I was looking at like a bunch of dandelions and I was like, oh, there's the puffballs and then there's yellow flowers. And I was like, are those the two? Is there a male and a female? I've never actually thought about this. Dandelions, I found out they're hermaphroditic, actually. They're asexual. They are a yellow flower first, and then that yellow flower, once it matures into the puffball and releases itself. And I didn't know that. And I was so much happier doing that than rotting my brain. I was just like reading dandelion Wikipedia.
I love that. Yeah, no, that's, I feel like on this podcast in the last few years, like hyperfixation facts, those things, the thing that you can tell at a party. Is there any other stuff like that recently, or stuff that you're like, that still blows my mind? Yeah,
I mean, well, it's funny because I remember there was like a viral tweet a few years ago that was like making fun of like a Wikipedia boyfriend. And I was like, excuse me, I didn't realize Wikipedia was just for boys. Let's not gender knowledge, I think.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, maybe we don't. It made me so mad. I was just like, no, everyone should be reading this. I don't understand how you don't just like spout facts at each other. What else are we supposed to talk about?
Yeah, you're hanging out with animals at parties. Yeah. Or you're like, ooh, did you know that there's more time between a Stegosaurus and a T-Rex than a T-Rex and us? You know, like.
I mean, come on. That's so much more interesting.
Sharks are older than Saturn's rings. Yes. What the fuck?
Preach. That is. Let's just play with that for a while. It's cool.
Fire is only found on Earth. Like,
I love that. We did that. It's so exciting. I don't know. I just like love that kind of stuff. It like makes me happy. And like I'd rather just be like in wonder of the things around me versus like in horror, I think. And I definitely like have curated my feed with just like, I follow a lot of science stuff, follow a lot of cute animals. Although you got to be careful with those animals. Sometimes those animal influencers die, and that's a fucked up day that you're like, oh man, I didn't realize I was going for. I should have known. I should have known that this would happen. I understand. Yeah. Damn. But yeah, I mean, like space. I go out to the desert and watch the Perseids every year, like the meteor shower. I like love that. I still wake up for every eclipse. Like if we can see it here, it's 4 a.m. I'll get my ass out of bed and go look at that. It's good to be humbled. Silence humbles the ego, I think. And it's important to do that often to yourself, because we live in such like an egocentric culture that is just like literally staring at yourself like all day long in so many ways. And it's just like, no, just remember that like that is crazy. That there's just like a shadow passing, making the moon disappear. And then I think about like what in ancient cultures, like when they saw that shit for the first time, like what, of course you were like, oh, that's gotta mean something. Yeah. Otherwise it's terrifying. Like, and how do you figure out how to track it? Like, I don't know. When I think about like early math and like how like so many cultures, like so many things form at the same time around the globe, just based at similar times, but like they aren't connected at all. And that's so interesting to me. Just like the way that like our evolution just happened, like separate, like socially.
Yeah.
That is like so fucking neat. Like,
there's like needs that humanity has. And it's like, all right, we're going to invent similar things because it's like, it's so wild. I mean, that just reminded me. Well, because it's, again, I like to me, I feel like it's thrilling that we're insignificant. You know, that brings me comfort. It doesn't scare me.
It's freeing, I think.
But you would rather go to space than ocean. It's like,
man, I really just want to stay on the ground. Like deeply.
Yeah, you don't need to be ejected into space like Sandra Bullock. Like,
no. I have zero desire to be in either place. Honestly, like I respect the hell out of them. I think between the two space, I have a deep respect and fear for the ocean. We're not supposed to be there. When that submarine imploded years ago, I was like, yeah, duh. Also, like, you couldn't have gotten me in that thing in a pool. So, I mean, I think I'm not claustrophobic on the ground. You can put me in a cave, you can put me in anything. It doesn't bother me. But like, man, the idea of being in space or water and enclosed like that. We went to Aaron Lampart, amazing comedian, got married a few years ago, and me and my boyfriend did a cenote tour down in the Yucatan, and it was amazing. And you kind of are like walking through like maybe a foot of water to kind of like get through the caves and everything. And then what they told us is like, so this limestone, there's actually like several completely underwater caves below you too, and that actually unlocked a new level of anxiety that I didn't know existed. And they're like, oh yeah, people come in here all the time, and then they will scuba dive down into the caves below, and like there's these tiny passages and stuff that like that respect if you can do that. I love to watch those videos on my couch on YouTube, I think is what I like to do. That's how I will see the Titanic, breathing free air, looking at TV.
Sure.
But that tour was awesome too, because it was actually like, God, this little like Frenchman was our tour guide, and he was like such a hardcore atheist. It was like very funny because he loved science and nature so much, and he just was like, the way that a lot of these cenotes, they have like a rainforest above them, and he was like, only one tree, the yucca tree, has these roots that they come down through the earth, and then they are just naked roots until they touch the water, and they touch a little bit of water. And he's like, that's the only tree that can do it, that has strong enough roots to get down here. And he goes, how do you think there's a rainforest above us though? And I was like, oh, well, the other plants must take it from the yucca tree. And he goes, yes. And I like that you said take, because nature is violent and you must remember it and respect it. Some people come here, Disney people is what he said in a French accent. He goes, Disney people, and they say the yucca shares the water. There's no sharing in nature.
Wow, is this Werner Herzog's French cousin? What's going on?
It kind of felt that way. I was like, I love being in this cave with this angry little French man that loves this root touching this water so much.
Wow.
It was killing me. I mean, yeah, that was like one of the best experiences I've had in a long time. He says he got a lot of he gets a lot of Mormons that come on that trip, because Mormons think that they came from the cenotes of Mexico, is like part of their, I don't fully know this, but he was like, it's part of their origin story, has something to do with the cenotes of Mexico. And I was like, interesting. So he's like, then they come here and I talk about the yucca root. I was
like, I can give you some real school. Yeah. I mean, I grew up around a lot of Mormon people. Mm-hmm. And so I know the cliff notes of Jesus coming to the Central and South America, but I don't remember this. I mean, I guess any chance to learn about cenotes, that sounds fun.
No, exactly. Like that was like very, very cool. And like, yeah, that's where most of Mexico gets its fresh water, is like from that limestone, is like a natural filter and everything.
So cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I know. I'd love to go down there, because it's just, that's where the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs is. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Did you see that there was a big one that hit in Ohio today?
Wait, an asteroid?
Yeah. Hold on. Wait, asteroid or meteor? Hold on.
I know the term. I always mix up the term.
Yeah. I saw a thing earlier, like
That's
literally
fun. Late breaking science news. Oh my god.
7-ton asteroid causes massive fireball seen over Ohio 3 hours ago.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's pretty cool.
I mean, I just think of my favorite thing to do when I go to the Griffith Observatory is going to the placard of like the woman who got hit by a meteorite because it like went through her roof and bounced. She's like, oh god damn it! Like just has a huge bruise from like a rock the size of like, I don't know. I was gonna say 2 potatoes, but it's way bigger than that. It's like the size of like a football. But I mean,
amazing.
that would, I feel like you would feel a little blessed, you know?
Oh, I would.
What are the odds?
Sure. I'd be so annoying. I'd tell somebody every day in my life for the rest of time. I'd be like,
bring it with you.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be on a chain around my neck, just like, hey, no big deal.
Well, when you go out and you see meteor showers and stuff, because, you know, it's one of those things where, like, when I went to school in Santa Barbara, sometimes we'd go up, but, like, and my mom lives in Oregon, so they'll go out and do that, like, out by Crater Lake and stuff, and there's all the lava fields up there. So they'll do that kind of thing. Is that, like, are you spending the night up there? Or you just drive up for a few hours? What's that whole thing?
Usually, like, my favorite thing is if I can get, like, a place in, like, Joshua Tree that has, like, a hot tub that's just like dark and silent. I just want to float in a hot tub and stare at the sky for like 8 hours. That's all I want to do. That's like my number one is that. I just like want to just chill out and just listen to music and just like watch meteors is like one of my favorite things to do.
I've only stayed at the Madonna Inn once, but their pool or one of their, I don't know if they have multiple pools, but there's one pool where it is just truly like less than an inch deep. And it was, since we got there late, we only went up at night. And so I literally just like lay, because like how most pools are like maybe a foot or deeper. So you're not really being able to like lay back. And so I did that and like looked up at the stars.
That sounds perfect. Yeah, exactly the same. Like I'm a Pisces bitch through and through. I'm just like, let me be, which is, I don't like deep water, but I do like shallow water as much as possible. Yeah, put me in that. I don't like not where I can't see. Like that's where it comes in. If I can't see what's around me, because when I was a kid, I accidentally grabbed a fish in the Chesapeake Bay while we were like having a mud fight, and I picked up a dead fish, and it was horrific. And I never want to be anywhere near that potentially happening again.
No, I went when I was in Australia last year. I mean, I was at home, like snorkeling the Great Barrier Reef. It's truly one of the most life-changing things.
That's
but
cool.
Then we also did one thing where it was like, you know, a backwoods tour in the Queensland area where it's like much more like rainforest and, you know, closer to the equator. But there was like it's just one of those things where somebody owns land with a bunch of stuff and they're like, here's a bunch of stuff. Here's a waterfall. Here's a thing you can dive into. Let's, here are these like lime spiders that they like, you can like, cause they have like the orb on them. It's like green. You get, and it just like has like a pop of lime or what,
Yeah.
But there is like a lake or a stream with a waterfall. But there was a part where in order to get back out of the stream after you're in the waterfall, like you had to walk through like a school of fish. And just like the thought, like just the feeling of them like wriggling against me is like, again, I want to admire. I don't need to grab a fish. I just don't. We don't need that.
No, we're in two separate worlds. I mean, that's like the closest thing that we have to aliens that we know of, right? At this point, is just like whatever the hell's happening in the ocean. But I'm just like, I'm going to watch from afar. I respect you. I hope you keep respecting me. We're going to be that's going to be great. Yeah.
This has been so much fun. One of the last things I wanted to bring up, because you brought it up, because it's so interesting. I always, whenever I talk to comics and writers, it's like, can you even enjoy funny things because it's your job? But you love the movie Galaxy Quest, speaking of Star Trek.
Do. Oh my gosh, I do. Yeah, because it's like it's a Star Trek original, like kind of like skewering of Kirk, basically. Yeah, which I love. And it's just like I'm an Alan Rickman girly, And honestly, I'm a massive Tim Allen fan. I think he's very, very good at playing the character in Galaxy Quest. He's awesome at that. You got Sigourney Weaver. I mean, the cast is insane. It's really funny. And it just like shows like the absurdity and the pompousness of actors, and like it's just them needing to get their egos checked by an alien species, basically. And like, yeah, I mean, that is like, you know, a big thing I'm always searching for. And it's just like silly and like it's just like, don't take shit too seriously.
No, I remember seeing it in theaters growing up and just like not having been like Star Trek is a big blind spot for me. And I've always admired that people who love Star Trek love Galaxy Quest. It's not like a thing where it's like they take it so seriously. They're like, actually, this is kind of one of the best Star Trek things. Like, I feel like that's been a common, and you're kind of in the same ballpark with that.
I very much am, because I think it's like it's like a very gentle roasting, which I think you can only do if you truly understand and respect the thing that you're skewering. You know, it's like you love the people that made this. I'm like, oh, you must love these conventions. You actually do, because like you're making fun of them, but you're actually like, you also get like the warmth of the fan base and stuff too, and like you can lovingly poke fun at it basically, and like I love it. I think honestly, if you're ever going to watch them, skip the original series. I don't think it's like, I've seen like a handful of episodes, but I feel like Next Gen, I feel like I have to one day. Yeah. Next Gen and Deep Space Nine, I think, are genuinely like two phenomenal television shows. And like Star Trek, like Next Generation, like honestly really like did shape a lot of who I am. Like I really, like they solve problems by talking them out. They try to be like, there isn't a lot of like, it's not very action oriented. It's about trying to like find peace and explore, and like so many concepts that I just like, that was what I loved to watch as a kid, basically. You know, it was like, oh yeah, this is like a way that this like has its own morality that isn't like religious based, you know, but it is like, there is a mission and like a drive here. And like, I think Galaxy Quest just like hits on a lot of that stuff too, but it is like it's like just so silly, and it's like, don't take yourself seriously. I mean, most Star Trek fans, there are people that do take themselves too seriously, but it is like, whatever. Most people are just like, it's ultimately, it's like an alien with like a little walkie-talkie, and that's great. And we got to be able to make fun of that. If you can't make fun of that, what can you do? Brandie, it's so great catching up and getting to chat with you. So this will come out in April, but so the new album is out. Yeah, the album is called Milk Job. It's about a joke about my father's milk intake, which is horrifying. And I didn't want to name it Father's Milk, which is a gross phrase. And everyone kept saying, are you going to call it Father's Milk? And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to have to say that over and over again. So it's called Milk Job, which you can buy it on iTunes, Amazon, or Bandcamp. You can stream it everywhere that you stream things. It's also, I put it out through a comedy record label that I run called Burn This Records, that I started a few years ago. If you're a Lady to Lady fan, Tess Barker also has an album that I put out on that. And it's an artist run like comedy co-op that I'm just trying to like really like foster comedians around the country that are kind of like the like pillars of their own local like independent scenes. Like that's kind of who I'm trying to work with the most. It's like these people that are like outside of stand-up comedy has taken such a horrific direction in the last few years, and it's just like, no, this like third way needs to exist and it needs to be fostered, and like that's who I'm trying to work with. So Burn This Records, follow us on Instagram to see all our other stuff. And then my album is also going to be a special that comes out in April on YouTube, and you can follow that at Burn This Records on YouTube, or youtube.com/@Burn This Records. We're just under 1,000 followers right now, and I'm trying to get there, which is when you can monetize on YouTube. So if you wanted to follow, that would actually mean quite a lot. So if you stream the album, like for sure, definitely go follow the YouTube. That would like be a way to like pay for it without needing to do anything monetarily. That would mean a lot. And then Lady to Lady, baby, here every Wednesday for 14 years. Do you know what the episode number is? It's probably in the 1300s, right, or something? Or well, actually, it's interesting because we have our main feed, and then we have all our bonus stuff that's behind. Main feed episodes, we just actually today recorded 686. Yeah. And then we have probably another 500-600 on bonus stuff that's behind the Patreon wall. But every 100 episodes, we do a special episode with French Stewart from Third Rock from the Sun. And we have him on and we do some sort of crazy adventures. So for like 600, we took him to Las Vegas to see Magic Mike live.
Right, yeah.
And we also did an escape room with him while Babs, Tess, and French were all on mushrooms. And that was very fun because we got yelled at by a teen.
If you can't get yelled at by a teen, what's the point of it? I mean, that's why we're the age we are now, to get yelled at by a teen.
Absolutely. It was, I mean, French had a blast because he's like, I'm like almost 60 and I'm getting yelled at by teenagers. I still got it.
I love that. Thank you so much, Brandie. That was great.
Of course. So good to see you.
So good to see you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. See Jurassic Right. You know where to find me, Stephen Ray Morris, and all the things. Hold on to your butts. Don't jet ski to Catalina, I think. But I don't know. Be nice to your Easter bunny because you never know who's going to be inside there. Bye, everyone.